What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Around the Metaverse, our weekly show where we bring together some of the best content creators from the blockchain and NFT gaming community, talk about all the recent news, and give you guys everything you need to know to stay up to date. My name's Adam. I'll be your host today, but more importantly, we got an amazing group of guests for you, and the return of some of the OGs and a new face. So we got CryptoStache in the house, man. How's it going today?
Good, hanging, doing it Monday. You know, a lot of good NFT news going on. I'm excited to talk about it all today.
Oh yeah, baby. Zueljin back in action. Good to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back. I missed y'all last week, but I'm here today watching BTF go to the moon and BTC going to the moon and hoping Ethereum follows.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Jake, thanks for coming in again, man. We're glad to have you back.
My pleasure. Always good to be here.
Last but certainly not least, man, a new show or a new face to the show. We got Sammy Snake here.
Sammy
Snake is actually a founding member of Nova Rally. If any of you guys out there watching are familiar on Wax, a game sort of based on wacky racers. For any of you OGs out there who know what that is, I'm surprised I do, but that show's awesome, man.
Dude, the Muttley laugh. That's all I gotta say is the Muttley laugh.
Oh, yeah. Sammy, how's it going, man? Great to have you here.
It's really good. It's really good. Nova Rally is going really well. People killing their NFTs every day. So doing more crazy ideas every day. It's just like a big playground. Love it. Absolutely.
All right, man. So we got a great show for you guys watching out there today. Some big changes happening out there in the metaverse. But before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And what I want you guys to do today, wouldn't it be perfect if Bitcoin just had that massive green candle today on the show? I want you guys watching out there to smash that like button so we could send Bitcoin today. I know it's the metaverse, right? But Bitcoin exists in the metaverse. So let's send Bitcoin to a new all-time high by smashing that like button, man.
We could get there. We've been so close, man. You know, I mean, I know this
could happen at any second. You know,
it really could. I mean, we like last Friday when I was on Around the Blockchain on BitBoy Crypto Show, we were within less than $1,000 of getting there, and I was like, come on, just do it while we're there.
Well, we had that little dip too, and I mean, the recovery from it was instant. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like we're knocking on the door. You know, it's a matter of time. But we're not here to talk about Bitcoin. Granted, it's exciting. We got some more stuff to talk about in the metaverse. We're going to be talking today about Axie Infinity. Is it ruined? Did they ruin the game by making this most recent change? That's a little controversial. We got another pretty controversial bit of news: Steam banning all NFT games, and there are already some on there, so they're getting the boot right now. And then finally, we're going to be asking you guys what you're most excited for in blockchain gaming. So let's kick things off talking about Axie Infinity. You guys viewing out there, I don't know if you heard, but they recently put an update out where if you're playing Axie and you don't have at least 800 MMR, which is like the ranking system, you don't earn any SLP from Arena, your daily quests, or a few other things. So essentially, they put that change in action to kind of prevent bots, is what they said. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think that this is a good thing or a bad thing? And do you think that this is going to sort of help the bot problem? Stache, let me hear your thoughts, man. What do you think about this?
I mean, is it going to help the bot problem? I don't know about that, actually, because I think this is something that could, I think that you could still bot this. And if your bot is good enough, you know what I'm saying? Like you could easily be getting over 800 MMR anyways. So I don't know. I think there's probably a better way they could have gone in, like some software changes that would have been a little bit more aggressive, that would have been more helpful for really, if that's really why they did this. Now, I think that maybe that's not necessarily the reason why they went with these changes. But I do think that what it can do is affect actual players. I think that actual people who play the game are going to be affected by this, not necessarily bots. And so you may be, and so the thing is, like, you got to think about a game like this too. The responsibility that you kind of have at this point when you're a play to earn game is that there are people that are relying on your game to pay their bills. That's huge. That's something you really have to take in consideration when you make sweeping changes like this. And Axie Infinity doesn't really seem like they take a lot of that into consideration. I don't know how many of you guys out there play Axie, if you're scholars or if you're just casual players or what, but let me know. Let us know in the chat, because I want to hear if you're playing Axie and if you feel the same way I do. But that's kind of how I look at it. I don't know if this is really going to be effective for stopping bots.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how this trickles down through the Axie ecosystem.
Yeah.
Sammy, let me hear from the new face here. I'm curious. Oh, he's getting up. What's going on? It's all good. All right, Zueljin, let me ask you, man, what do you think? And specifically actually about scholarships, for those, maybe watching who don't know, sometimes people loan out assets. There's a big scholarship ecosystem in Axie that kind of runs the whole thing. So do you think that this change is going to kind of make people not want to be scholars, or maybe pursue other scholarship opportunities in other games?
It's trash. I hate it. So this is the obvious thing. What Stache said, 100% agree. It's not going to stop people from botting. They already have invested assets into bot accounts with Axies and stuff like that. They're not going to liquidate this stuff. They're just going to keep trying until they can game the system and get over it. That's how criminals work, man. They just keep trying to game the system differently. The bad news is that you have people like me that have scholars that reach out to you and say, I don't think I'm doing good enough. I don't want to play Axie anymore. You have people like me that already think that there's too much PvP engagement to do something that you just enjoy for an hour a day and keep it casual just to earn a little bit. Because I like Axie, but guys, I'm here to tell you, it's not the be-all, end-all of gameplay. It's not so stimulating that you would play it without income. It's still at that level to where it's very, very much play to earn motivated. And until you really, really make players want to play your game, you're not going to get that just off of earnings. And the worst thing you can do is cut those earnings from people that can't perform very well. What about the people that have bad Axies? Like, it's very, very much skill-based, but you can't get those MMR levels with trash Axies. You can't.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, think about someone who's maybe not even trying to get a scholarship, and someone who just invests in their first set of floor Axies, like you said, and then, they can't necessarily play to the level of 800 MMR, or at least maybe they don't get to the level of play quick enough to keep them entertained in the game. And that's something that I think is kind of interesting, because we've been in our own Discord hearing some of our members start talking about other scholarship opportunities, like I said, specifically maybe like from Bynamon or something like that. But Sammy, I'm curious to hear from you, man. Do you think there are other play-to-earn games out there that could maybe start taking scholarships away from Axie because of this change?
I'm not sure. I mean, Axie is the big brand. It's been the stable owner for a long time, and I don't think that it will pull people away from it. I think it's a bit of a poor form on their part. I think they could probably have put more creativity into the way of stopping it. There's got to be a way in which you make it playing on one account is more profitable and easier to do. Why make it skill-based? The whole thing, they did all these documentaries, they sponsored all these documentaries about how they're helping people, and then it's like, okay, well, we're going to stop helping people. What, you're going to do a documentary about how they're living now? Yeah.
That's the one I want to see.
That's a great point,
village. No one can get their medication anymore. Parents have got no jobs. They're not going to do a documentary on that.
I'm starting that documentary right now.
I love it, dude. That's a low blue.
People will always find a way. Like, why do people do the scholarships? Do we do it because it's going to make us rich beyond our wildest dreams? No, we do it because we enjoy helping people. Like, right? So at the end of the day, if your community is no longer getting helped by that game, you're going to assist them into a game where it will make them a bit more money, because that's what we care about. That's why you do it. You hear all these stories from your community and helping them. And I think it will come from the top down, is that these people that lead the scholarships will then go, right, how can I help the people in my community? And that's what it's always been.
I know. Well, let's see, man. Axie, it was a good run. Who knows? We might have the mass
GG's Axie
might be happening soon.
All right. So I have
Jake,
some things to say on this one. So I don't think it's going to cause the mass exodus or anything, but I did go on a little bit of a tweet storm today where I was like, if Axie Infinity keeps raising the minimum MMR required to play to earn, soon it's just going to be like a traditional game where only pro players can earn. And then it's like, all right, how is this different than a traditional game if you have to be at the highest skill levels in order to make money? You can already make money if you're at the highest skill levels of League of Legends or Dota. And And then the other thing is, if this is meant to stop botting, I agree with everything you guys have said before. Like, AI now can play pro level Dota too. So it's like bots can be better than I am. So this slippery slope can keep on going until literally everyone is priced out if the goal is stopping botting. Like, this is not the correct solution. So I was thinking about like what does Axie really want out of this? And I think it's partly botting, but I think partly the Sky Mavis team is hoping that this is going to help raise SLP prices by decreasing the number of people that can earn SLP.
Yep.
But the thing is that this is not a real solution to increasing the value of SLP. The real solution to getting the SLP price higher is the implementation of Axie burning for a sustainable economy, not raising MMR requirements. So I think this misses on both counts. It's not going to stop botting. It's not going to increase the value of SLP. So I'm not a fan.
Well, yeah, and another thing too, I just thought of, man, is like what was this a direct order from Sky Mavis? Like, you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't this be something that maybe a DAO votes on or the community votes on using AXS, their governance token?
What happened to the DAO?
AXS like governance token? Exactly. Governance of what?
Governance token? Governance token? So yeah, man, I don't know. I agree with you guys too. I think it's kind of not necessarily the best change they could have made.
So someone in chat, Axie IQ in chat, says that he thinks that this is a solution that they're really just doing for Battle V1, and their real focus is on Battle V2 and on land. And like, I can get that, where you're just kind of like limping along, but with 1 million plus players, and like I said, people's actual livelihoods kind of at stake here. I don't think that's something you should be doing, foregoing what you have now to work on what's coming later. You can do both and have a balance there. And like I said, I think we're all in agreement that this is not the best move, and there's definitely better ways that they could have gone about this. And I agree with you, Jake. I think that a lot of it really comes down to trying to pump that SLP price, and it just fails the mark on pretty much everything that they would want to try and accomplish here, and backpedaling a bit, man.
Man,
it's kind of like limited vision that devs have sometimes that aren't in the consumer's best interest. As content creators, I'm sure we've all felt the urge to do something that we think would be a good idea for video, and the user experience or the viewer experience isn't actually enhanced. It's just something that we get tunnel vision around. I think developers have the same way. They're like, this would be a great feature or a great implementation, and at the same time, you're just crippling your viewer base. I don't know, man.
Get the governance proposals in, man. Yeah. Start asking the community. But
I want a governance proposal for actually having governance proposals.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we rank on Axie every time we're on the stream here, but that's all right. We still love you. We still love you.
I sold my excess this week.
Hey, I bought more Axies this week. We're expanding our scholarship program, so I mean, I'm still doing it.
Let me be clear about this. Even though I don't agree with this one change that they made, like, I'm still bullish on Axie long term. I think that if Axie Infinity releases Lunacia and brings a brand new type of gameplay, I've heard Battles version 2 is coming along really well, and if that really increases the fun factor, if both of these can come out successfully along with Axie burning, which is so important for the long-term sustainability of the economy, these three things can really bring Axie Infinity to like brand new heights. And like, if they are truly like incredible remakes of the game, like, it's possible Axie Infinity hasn't even like gotten started yet. Like, 2 million players, like, they could probably reach 20 million players at some point if they can make this economy, this play to earn, continue working, which I think like is a big if. And some of the changes that they've been making, it's like, are you guys really focused on what actually needs to happen? Now, maybe we're just being impatient, and like, all of these things just take time, and 6 months from now, like, we could have a very different perspective if Lunacia is out and Battles version 2 is out and Axie burning's implemented. Like, maybe it looks completely different 6 months from now. We just need to be patient. But I don't know, when I'm seeing changes like this that I think are not really solving the core issues and are actually hurting a lot of players, I don't know. It makes me question.
You agree that it's not going to break Axie. So what I think you're saying is buy AXS now.
I mean, AXS is pretty high though.
Zueljin wants you to buy the
advice.
AXS is what it
There
comes
is
down.
going to be an unintended consequence here where people are who are nervous about buying their Axies, because it's a big investment at the start. People are going to be less likely to take that leap. That big barrier to entry has gotten just a little bit bigger because now they know if I'm not good enough, or if I don't buy the right Axies and can't be competitive enough, then I'm not actually going to be able to earn anything in this game. And that's going to cause a lot of people to second guess and possibly not start playing at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But speaking of backwards thinking, or somewhat backwards thinking, some more kind of not great news, along with some potentially good news in the platforms that are offering games. Not sure if all of you guys have heard. I'm sure you probably have. But Steam,
I know what you fitting to say.
Steam, one of we all love it. You know, we all love to hate Steam, right? But they went along and banned NFT games. So they made a statement saying that they are not going to allow any NFT games on their platform.
Trash.
So what do we say? Not going to make it, right? Not going to make it,
dude. So first of all, they don't ban the match 3 hentai games, and they're talking about they're against. A long time ago, Steam turned into a cesspool when there's 50 games that are releasing every single day with just this trash amount of content and this low effort stuff that make gamers just shake their head and say, what in the world are they doing? All the way to something that they're excuse my French, but they're cock blocking innovation like 100%. It's the most accepted gaming platform on PC. And they're not going to die because of this, not even close, because blockchain gaming isn't to that. But they're limiting themselves to allow people to be competitive with that. There's going to be a platform that is going to implement blockchain gaming, and they're gonna take it all, dude. They're gonna like Epic. Epic's like, yeah, we're not gonna block it. Come on in. Epic already had a bunch of controversy that was stopping them from being Steam. Now with this, they're just gonna have a huge fan base that just adapts to them because they allow it. They didn't even make it. They didn't even make a hard decision. We're not going to cock block them like Steam did, you know?
So let me ask you, Jake, why do you think they did this? Like, what do you think motivated Steam to to just be like, oh, screw it. We're not even going to entertain the idea of having any of you guys on there. And they already had some blockchain games on the platform, which is the even more surprising part.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a threat to their current business model. And anytime that you're sitting really pretty as like the leader in market share and you're bringing in all this revenue in a current business model, big changes are a little bit scary. And they're probably thinking that they're going to be losing revenue if like games aren't selling stuff through their marketplace. And if players have real ownership, like it just changes things. Probably a lot of play to earn games might be initially free to play. And I don't know how that affects Steam, but I'm just guessing you're sitting there, you got your shareholders, you're looking at your revenue charts and you're like, man, a drastic change to our entire business model is a scary thing. And that is why innovators have an opportunity oftentimes to come up and do things that the big current players aren't doing, because once you get like fat and content, you kind of start getting lazy and you stop innovating and you stop doing difficult things. So I don't know the exact reason why they decided to make this decision. But I think that the longer that they don't reverse it, the more market share they're going to lose in the next generation of gaming, which I do think will become the predominant way that people game. Maybe it takes a decade. Who knows? But eventually, this is a marketplace that they're going to be shooting themselves for like excluding themselves from. And at some point, I think it's very likely we'll see a reverse course on this. But if it takes 2-3 years, then their market share is already going to have plummeted so much that the damage is going to be done.
Down with the old guard, right? Or Steam the new blockbuster. But Sammy, man, let me hear from you. I'm curious. Do you think, or Zueljin briefly mentioned this, Epic Games actually made a statement kind of off of Steam banning NFT games, saying, man, come on over. You know, the doors are open. You know, the floodgates are open. Come on in. We're going to love you and give you everything you guys need. Do you think that we're going to see Epic kind of really integrate blockchain into what they're doing in-house too? Like, do you see maybe blockchain components coming to Fortnite, for example? And how soon maybe do you think that might happen?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're saying it to obviously capitalize on the negative publicity that Steam has. But I think that there's clearly some legal ramifications to accepting it, and that's why Steam are stepping away from it. Once Epic explore it and find out the same thing, they might take the same stance. But I just think it's hilarious is that Steam pioneered this approach with owning your in-game cosmetics and selling them for, you know, like Dota items, CSGO items. So they already have the infrastructure. They already pioneered this approach. And then suddenly they're like, nah, we won't do this. This is essentially the same thing, except you have complete freedom. It's perfect. They would actually make so much more money doing this. They already have it, the infrastructure in place. It is literally the most boneheaded decision because like everyone would just use the Steam marketplace and they would get the marketplace fees and they would make more money, in my opinion. But the rational side of me thinks that they've looked into this and there's some serious legal like hurdles that they're going to have to overcome to do this properly. And they thought, do you know what? It's going to be problematic. Let's get ahead of this and just say in our terms of service and lay the groundwork to say, no, we're not going to allow it. And I feel like there's some law.
The easy road just isn't always the best road to take is the issue.
It's not. I agree with all of that. But, they already have some of the stuff in place, though. There's Steam trading cards right now that are essentially NFTs working on the same platform. It's the same thing. It's just not cryptocurrency related. That's what I don't get. Like, I guess because it's related to blockchain, that it's a standoff point. Because even trying to develop my own currency, I learned there is a lot of legal crap too. There really is. Just because it's blockchain related, there's a lot. And regulations are really, really up in the air right now. And that's what discouraged me. So I can understand having a business model that would kind of scare you. That's why Ubisoft hasn't done it yet, right? That's why a lot of big companies haven't done it. We talked a few shows ago. Jake was talking a lot about this, about how these companies really wouldn't do anything about getting into. I'm going to be a minute. They wouldn't be. It's like they couldn't even decide. I just lost my train of thought. My wife just.
You're good, man.
You're just going with shit.
all right. No, all right. So I totally agree with you guys, and I think that they're kind of the legal ramifications aren't even clear yet, right? So why endanger your business model by stepping into uncharted waters without knowing what's going to happen? But Stache, I want to hear from you, man. I'm curious with studios or platforms like Steam and Epic Games kind of talking about things and not actually making actions. Well, Steam's making actions, but Epic not necessarily taking action and dragging their feet. Do you think that we're going to see like a decentralized sort of platform come up? Like what sort of benefit do you see these platforms even giving blockchain games when the whole point is about many times the point is about decentralization and having ownership over your own assets and being separated from some sort of centralized server or entity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this gives an opportunity for other companies that are willing to go down that little bit more of a difficult path. And that's how it's always been, Steam was someone who did that too originally, right? Going down this path, doing something that has never been done, that was a challenge, that people thought wasn't going to work necessarily, or that maybe it was a little bit ahead of its time. We see this all the time, but those innovators are the ones that end up paying off in the long run. And I can guarantee you that this is not going to stop NFT gaming from coming. It's not at all. I mean, we're seeing massive games coming out every day. I'm surprised every day by AAA quality games that are popping up out of nowhere. I'm like, holy crap, there's another one. And so, the gamers are the ones that are going to drive this economy forward. They're going to start demanding that this is how it be. And the games that don't have that incorporated, there's going to be a tipping point where if your game doesn't have NFTs incorporated, it's not using blockchain technology, there's no play to earn element, that people are just going to stop wanting to play it. And so I think that, we're not there yet, obviously, but I do think that we are going to get there in the next 5 years, probably, maybe even 10 years at the very latest. But companies that are forward thinking, companies like Ultra, which are doing something similar to, it's basically like a decentralized Steam where you can buy and sell games that you own, and a lot of other features rolled in there. Now, is there a lot of legal framework there? Yeah, of course. And, we're in a regulatory gray area here in the United States, but then you got to think about globally, this is just something that is not just a problem in gaming or in crypto, but in general for where we're at in our time, in our lives, in with technology, and how borders are basically being broken down because of technology. We have all these, before we had all these pockets of regulation and laws and things like that. And, with being a very digitally focused economy, globally now, we're gonna have to get to the point where we have laws that that are a little bit more in line with everything else going around the globe, instead of everyone having a different thing, because it makes it too difficult for commerce and technology to move forward. So I think we're going to start seeing those things being broken down over the next decade as well. With some of the advents we've seen and some of the issues we've seen, come out of this coronavirus pandemic, where everyone has moved to doing home-based work, and working from far, telecommuting has exploded. So I think all those things kind of revolve around this same issue. Is that why is Steam not wanting to do it? When like Sammy was saying, well, they looked into it, they saw there's legal ramifications. Well, that has to do with the fact that it's different in the United States, that it is in the UK, that it is in Japan, that it is here. You know what I'm saying? And so the people who can fight that fight and keep that going, those are the ones that are going to be profitable here in the next 10 years. Those are going to be the Netflix. Those are going to be the Hulus. Don't be the Blockbuster. Don't be the Blockbuster where you get left behind. You're like, hey, you know what? We could use our infrastructure and our money to take this chance on this new, streaming and but why would we do that? We're a tried and true business. We're going to stick to our guns. And you know what? That's what Steam is looking like here, in my opinion, is that if they don't evolve, they're going to end up in the same kind of boat.
That's what I was going to say, by the way, y'all.
Okay, awesome.
I got you, bud.
I agree with you.
Stache.
I agree with you, CryptoStache. And I'm afraid that Steam is thinking like, maybe we let other people tread the course. We let them fight with the regulators. We wait until there's more like rules set in stone, and then we can pounce with a massive blockchain title or something released exclusively through Steam. Like maybe they try a strategy like that. But what I think they're not really thinking about is like Blockbuster did try to do the like mail-in movies at one point. They were like, wow, this is really catching on for Steam. They tried to move in that direction. They didn't really get to streaming, but the thing is like they were just too slow in all their innovations. They just waited too long. And I think that Steam might be just getting too comfortable with where they are, and they're like, we can wait a while, let this develop some. But by not being on the cutting edge, I said this before, they're just giving up market share to games. All games that are getting built on blockchain right now are finding new platforms to launch on that aren't Steam. And because of that, Steam is getting hurt, I think, a lot more than they think they are.
First mover advantage is a valuable thing, man. And honestly, in terms of regulation, not just in crypto, I'm curious, man, do you like you were saying, Stache, I think technology is evolving in such an exponential way that like is legislation ever even going to be able to catch up to it? You know what I mean? Like I feel like by the time that 5 years from now we get to actually having some sense of what we're talking about in NFTs and crypto, the whole environment's going to be different. So
how are you going to get 13-year-olds to pay taxes on their NFTs that they're flipping? They like get a sword in a game and sell it for like 15 grand. And they're like, it's like, now you got to do your taxes, kid. It's like, I'm still learning to read.
Yeah. Wait, does this like mobile game, this like Nintendogs, right? Does Nintendogs give me a 1099B at the end of every year? Like, but yeah, man, let's, I'm curious to hear, your guys let's move on to the next topic. We're going to be talking about what you guys are most excited for in blockchain gaming. Let's get off of this regulation, boring stuff. Stache, I want to hear your thoughts, man. There's been a lot going on in NFTs and gaming recently. I know we all kind of feel a little bit of fatigue sometime, but what's that one thing that you're looking forward to that kind of keeps you going and makes you excited for NFTs when you wake up in the morning?
I mean, that one thing that really kind of keeps me going is seeing the innovation, seeing people push the boundaries. That's something that I truly love, and that's why I get pissed at things like Steam, where they're kind of trying to keep the status quo, and just anybody in general. That's kind of the way that the top dog always wants to do it, right? If you're on top, you want to keep the status quo because that's what's most profitable to you. You taking chances and risks are not profitable. So that's really what keeps me going, keeps me interested in this space, is so much innovation. And we're seeing that with a bunch of really great games out there right now. In particular, I keep getting surprised by games that are existing and have really great updates. We played War Riders on the stream last week and had a ton of fun, and it is crazy how much it has come, like how far it's come in the last couple of months. And so I was like, that actually really excited me. I was like, man, this is really cool, because I already like the game, and then just seeing so many more people adopt it and be out there, and then people making clans and guarding mining spots, and it was a really cool thing to see that evolution, because these are new things that are on the cutting edge and are just now getting ready to happen. So it's pretty cool.
and to kind of bring it full circle, going off of that, man, like, we were just talking about setting up a War Riders scholarship because of the new interest in the game. There might be an opportunity there now to maybe get something going in that area.
Yeah.
So you guys watching out there, if you want to maybe get on War Riders and not have to roam around the wasteland in the crappy van, right? We might have some help for you pretty soon.
None of you guys have played War Riders, I bet. Not one of you, huh?
I played it.
You
early
did?
on. Like, you have a machine gun van and you go get oil around and stuff?
Yeah. It's cool, man.
What's the play to earn like in it right now?
It's actually really good. That's the reason why I was like excited about it. So the in-game currency has actually gone up quite a bit, and so it's gotten to the point now where it's valued so highly that like there's people who are now playing it constantly, and like they have clans together guarding these mining spots where you get the cryptocurrency, and go in there and fighting them. And like, I got a couple people on the stream with me to come and smash on some of these people and steal some BZN from them. And if you shoot the car that has the BZN, like, you can then pick it up and take it back to the garage, and so it's actually really fun. When you talk about fun blockchain games, like, this is one that is actually, you can earn quite a few, like maybe even more than Axie per day, and it's a lot of fun. But you have to have like a crew. You can't do it solo. That's really what it is. So
if you have the skills and the strategy, you got to have the skills and the strategy, baby.
Anyway, so it's interesting, yeah.
But yeah, let me hear from you, Zueljin. What about you, man? What are you excited for in blockchain gaming? Is there anything on the horizon for you that you're like, man, I just can't freaking wait?
This last couple weeks, the hype for Star Atlas is really start to set in. Y'all, I want true immersion. I want to be able to go to work in the galaxy every day. I want to be able to stream for 9 hours and not want to get off because I'm having too much fun, or I'm making money, or I'm advancing in the galaxy and doing my thing. Being able to go mine some asteroids and find a rare material and sell it and stuff like that. Talk with a community that's into it as well. Kind of like I do NFTs right now, but something very, very game focused, where I have a guild or a clan that I can talk to every day about this stuff, and have that competitive spirit at the same time as, getting these little victories or losing and everybody being upset about it. Like, when I used to play Ultima Online years ago, I remember my girlfriend at the time played as well, and my roommate and I had to go to work. Well, in the middle of our shift, she started texting me, telling us that our neighbor in the game had attacked her out of nowhere. The rest of my shift, dude, my blood was boiling. I was like, wait till I get off. I'm gonna smoke him. And it was that type of immersion. I want that again.
Yeah,
and I think blockchain has the ability to do that, because there's so much at stake all the time, because you really start taking ownership of what you have.
Yeah.
You ever see those, like, that thing where, like, they strap you in and, like, put those booties on so you can run in place, and you're like,
oh yeah, VR. Like haptic feedback suits and stuff.
Yeah. We're all gonna need to get one of those, and we're gonna get into Star Atlas and be running around in space. Wait, and I want to ask you too, and this just made me think of this. What did you check out the tribes yet, or the factions? And
what faction you guys going? What faction?
I'm human. I forget the name of the faction. But
what about you, Jake? Which faction you going?
Mud.
I still have not picked my faction.
Me
yet.
neither, but I'm leaning Oni. I'm leaning Oni.
Yeah. That's my first.
We're gonna put a guild together. It's gonna be a pretty good guild, man. So maybe Zueljin, you need to change and go Oni with us, bro.
Can't change. It's forever. It's permanent.
Nah, they're gonna do a faction change for sure at some point.
They're gonna charge another wallet. Get another wallet.
I'll pay for your faction change.
You can get another wallet, maybe, right? Is that a rule yet?
That's true. Yeah, you could totally get another wallet. That's all you got to do, and then just change it like that.
My whole guild knows as well, like what faction they are, so they probably picked as well. So maybe we can like both team up.
Okay, yeah, we can do alliance.
Yeah, we can do like
we can make a
with each other and double team.
A third
party. All right, so Jake, you go Ooster, I'll go Oni, and Zueljin go Mud. And then we'll pick everybody else up, and then we can do a 3-way alliance,
a neutral team, like the Stachers, the ultimate triforce of factions,
the inclusive.
What about you, Sammy? Sammy, are you on the Star Atlas train?
I have one ship. I don't know what faction it was or anything. So I need to look into. The problem is like it's a 3D game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually can't play 3D games.
But the game is not going to be. You'll still be able to do things. And plus, you just send out your minions. Just hire people to go attack.
Yeah, I need to be like a manager.
You can be the economist. Exactly.
Yeah,
you can be the mastermind. You can be the Wizard of Oz, man.
I definitely get that EVE Online vibes for it.
Yeah, exactly what they're going for. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I tried to play EVE before, and it was very difficult. But it's those stories that you want, and I think that's why it'll be a success. It's just so much more exciting. Imagine that being your job, like managing a fleet, managing like you're trading on certain planets and stuff. Like no one will ever want to do a real job again after they play these blockchain games. So it gets to that level. It's just like, I'm not doing my real job. I'm going to do this.
Can you
people care more about this?
Can you imagine being held accountable for like maybe a slip in the paperwork or not doing something that costs like a fleet like $500,000? Can you imagine making a mistake like that? Because those are going to be the type of situations that real people are going to be in this game.
I saw a clip of in a traditional game, there's like trucking simulator, and there was like an 8-hour traffic jam because all the online players like got stuck in like a truck traffic jam, and like that's gonna be we're gonna be in Star Atlas like in traffic in like the space lanes, like oh man, another day at work. Like what are we doing? We'll all be having a great time in the metaverse. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I've been trying to get an interview with Star Atlas's Unreal Engine 5 developers, because I really want to talk to someone who's actually doing the development of the game right now in Unreal. Because the thing is, like, I love talking to Michael, and I love talking to the other co-founder as well, but neither of them have developed games before, which has me a little bit nervous that their like expectations might be a little bit too high just because they haven't developed a game in the past.
Fair.
So yeah, I've been talking on Twitter, trying to get in contact with one of the Unreal Engine 5 developers, and they're trying to get me an interview, but so far the Unreal Engine 5 team has been sending them crickets back, I guess. So
they're IT guys, man. Like they probably like social.
Yeah, they're probably like, I don't
Absolutely
know if I want to do something on YouTube, but like it would be so nice for the entire community if we could hear from the people actually developing the game in Unreal Engine 5, because like all the art is beautiful, like the trailers are incredible. It's like the world building, even like all of the white paper economic tokenomics, like it's all just immaculate, so well done. The final nail that needs to be drilled in for this to be a secure investment, though, is I feel like I want to see that the development is going well in Unreal, and that we're actually going to have a 3D world that we can fly around in and be immersed in. And like I trust them, but I'll trust them more when I've actually talked to the team, you know.
Trust no one.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, I've heard, like these Unreal Engine 5 developers have actually built games in the past, and that's like really what I want to see. I want to see past experience and hear about the games that this team has built before, and no, okay, if you guys have done that in the past, then I'm confident you're going to be able to deliver something here. But like it has me a little nervous that Michael Wagner's never made a game before. It's like his history is in crypto.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean it's like the economic side of his expertise is really valuable, but I want to see the other half of the duo that's necessary, which is that talent in actual game creation.
Well, we'll see, man. The mini game will be the moment of truth for that, hopefully, at least.
Yeah. Yep.
Some of it.
But yeah, man, we're running out of time here, so I guess let's just finish it off quickly with Jake and Sammy. I didn't quite get to you guys in terms of, I know we're all excited for Star Atlas.
I want to hear your take, Sammy. What do you got? What makes you excited for upcoming?
Well, just like Zueljin said, this blockchain gaming thing, for whatever reason, it brings true immersion. So me, I'm a big sports fan. So like a game where I could manage my own sports team on the blockchain and be a general manager and put the budget in of my money and buy in and sign players and compete against other people on the blockchain, or like have multiple people in my sports organization. It like everyone's so sick of like when the team you support makes the wrong decisions. Right? Yeah. I'd rather watch virtual sports, honestly. I could feel like I have finally more control. The fans truly could control the club, right? If it's all on blockchain. So I think it opens up a whole new way where I think people are going to really care more about what happens in these blockchain metaverses than their real life. And because it is exciting. It's just a chance for us to be really nerdy, but like there's so much potential. Like imagine running your own sports team.
Yeah, and like, especially when there's actual crypto on the line, if your team actually performs well, like games have already proven that they can be exciting and addictive and immersive just based on the fun of it. But you add the extra layer of monetary incentive, and that will bring the immersion level to a whole new paradigm. I don't get how people don't understand how revolutionary, groundbreaking, and exciting this is.
Tell Elon Musk, man, we don't need to go to space because we're going into the metaverse, baby. Put me in the screen. Give me one of those immersion things.
Well, you need that for when you go to Mars and it's just complete. I mean, it's just a dust bowl. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you're gonna need that a lot more when you're on Mars, guys.
It's a lot more rich and accessible of an experience to the metaverse when you think about it. Like you can access it. You and me can access it.
And I hope it's going to inspire more people to want to actually go to space, actually make humanity a multi-planet species. I feel like it's oftentimes fiction that causes us to dream about what's possible and changes our paradigm of what reality could be. So in a lot of ways, I hope Star Atlas really helps wake up the world and gets the world excited to do more and go further.
Have you ever played Elite Dangerous, Jake?
I have not. No, I've watched a lot of gameplay or some
Elite
gameplay.
Dangerous in VR is life-changing.
Yeah.
Seeing the scale of a space station when you fly into it the first time is indescribely awesome. It's crazy to have your brain determine the size of this thing virtually. And you have to continue to remind yourself that it's fake. It's that real. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. And I think that like VR technology too, it's been improving so much. And there hasn't been as much mainstream media excitement about it over the past 2-3 years. Like it was kind of a big hubbub like around when Ready Player One was launched and a little bit before that. But the technology is really improving a lot. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people very surprised when they put on a headset for the first time and realize how immersive it's actually become.
What about this, man? You don't even need a headset because you got the Neuralink and your eyeballs are
that will be awesome.
All right, we can't go into that, man. You're opening up a whole can of worms there.
That'll be for the next show, guys. We'll talk about the Neuralink metaverse on the next show. But that's all the time we got tonight, guys. I want to thank you all for being here. Sammy, welcome to your first around the metaverse, man. We hope to have you on again sometime.
Awesome. No, I really enjoyed it. I don't want this to end. Can we just talk a few more hours?
The YouTube algorithm will punish us, man. And speaking of that, you guys watching out there, don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it.
I didn't check the Bitcoin chart. Someone comment, let me know if we're at new all-time highs. If not,
62,000.
We'll be there this week. So on that note, man, see you next Monday at new all-time highs. This has been Around the Metaverse. Thank you guys for coming, and see you next week.
Later.
See you guys.